1 and 6. It says, you have sown much and bring in little. All right, sharecropping. Sharecropping is a perfect example. Jake busted their ass, worked day and night, all right, to get a piece, just a piece, a speck. All right, what Esau has as owning some type of land, some type of property, some type of substance, right? So what happened, man? That whole thing just, Jake ended up more in debt during that sharecropping episode than anything else. It says, you have sown much and bring in little. What the scriptures say, man? We built this land, we built this country. The book of Jeremiah. All right, we built this country. Blood, sweat, and tears. Did we get anything in return? Hell no, we got nothing. This book of Jeremiah, chapter 22 and 13. Woe unto him that buildeth his house by unrighteousness, and his chambers by wrong, that useth his neighbor's service without wages. Right? They didn't pay us to cut sugar cane. All right? To build their roads. All right? To build their you go throughout the states, and all the buildings that are erected were done through Jake labor, Gadite labor, Native Americans. All right, even their knowledge. Even the wealth that America currently possesses and the elites have was built on the blood, sweat, and tears of you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and American Indians, man. Even the land that they've coveted over, all right, they got rich over, man. Minerally rich lands. It says, woe, which means destruction, unto him that built his house by unrighteousness, and his chambers by wrong, that useth his neighbor's service without wages, and give him not for his work, man. 300 plus years of slaving. Did we get anything in payment for that? No, we did not, man. And reparations ain't gonna solve it, man. All right? As the scriptures say, life for life, blood for blood, blow for a blow. This is I want to say Exodus, but I'll check the numbers real quick. It was Numbers 35. Exodus. This is a good one. This book of Numbers, chapter 35 and 33. So you shall not, because America was built on the bloodshed. All right, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and American Indians, man. It says, so you shall not pollute the land wherein ye are, for blood it defileth the land, and the land cannot be cleansed of the blood that is shed therein, but by the blood of him that sheddeth it. So in other words, man, paying us back with reparations to a monetary form is not what's going to suffice, all right, our situation, man. Let's go to the book of Exodus. Exodus 21 and 16, it says, and he that stealeth a man and selleth him, or if he be found in his hand, he shall surely be put to death. I'll read that again. Exodus 21:16. And he that stealeth a man, the first slaves were Native Americans, man. Now they took the indigenous out of this land and all the other lands they took them out of in the Caribbean islands, the Iroquois, and they took them over to Europe, man. It says, and he that stealeth a man and selleth him, or if he be found in his hand, he shall surely be put to death. All right, so you're going to be put to death, Esau. That's why the scriptures say, woe unto him that build his house by unrighteousness. All right? Let's go to the book of Sirach. See if there's any more on any other precepts on Jeremiah also. Let's go to, let's get to Sirach. There were other ones. I'm about to hold that. maybe I'll look for it on my phone. Sirach 21:8, it says, he that buildeth his house with other men's money is like one that gathereth himself stones for the tomb of his burial. Alright, so one who builds his house with other men's money because you owe him. Alright, you didn't pay him for his wages, for his work. Alright, so whatever money that you saved and you were able to keep, or because of power, alright, you're gonna have to pay back, man. Alright, but ultimately you're doing it to your own destruction, to your own detriment, man. Sirach 21:8, he that built his house with other men's money is like one that gathereth himself stones for the tomb of his burial. So it's only a matter of time, man, until your iniquity is searched out by Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, man. And your skirt is being lifted in these last days. Right, because we're finding out what the hell's going on, man. What the real deal is. Alright, that the table is turning and the cards has been dealt, man. Alright, you've fraudulently set the deck up, alright, to your own benefit, man. This book of Habakkuk chapter 2 and 9, woe to him that coveteth an evil covetous to his house, that he may set his nest on high. So in other words, so you can be in the king, you can be in your heaven, man. Alright? Woe to him that coveteth an evil covetousness to his house, to your whole household. Not just you because you did it, but because your children, because they're going to inherit, because we understand reincarnation, because they're going to inherit what you've done, man. And they're going to have to pay for what you've done. It says, woe to him that coveteth an evil covetousness to his house, that he may set his nest on high, that he may be delivered from the power of evil. It says, thou hast consulted shame to thine house. All right, shame, man. That's why the scriptures say there's going to be shameful spewing upon thy glory, man. And that, in fact, that's coming up. It says this, thou hast consulted shame to thine house by cutting off many people. Right? The scriptures say you rule the world in wickedness, man. Kun. This is going back, Habakkuk. Verse 10, thou hast consulted shame to thine house by cutting off many people, and hast sinned against thy soul. For the stone shall cry out of the wall, and the beam of the timber shall answer it. Woe to him that buildeth a town with blood, and established a city by iniquity, man. America is set up on what? Right now you got Biden, all right, in power. And what's he doing right now? He's setting up the LGBTQ, all right, to take control, man. To take control of the government, all right, every sector of society, all right. Your children are going to be pushed, and they want to alter their understanding, our children's understanding. Unless if you don't get them early, they're going to get them, man. And you got to pray for your children, man. In these last days, you got to pray for your children more, man, because there's so much more vices. You got this video game craze, which is saying, you know, a lot of people not having sex. In other words, all right. So therefore, no children are gonna be copulated. You know, and then the population is gonna go down. This is all through their enterprise, man. This is the whole desire of the Edomites. All right. The nation who are ruled, so-called white people, man. The elites at that. Going verse 12, it says, woe to him that buildeth a town with blood, and establish a city by iniquity. Verse 13, behold, is it not of the Lord of hosts that the people should labor in the very fire, and the people should weary themselves for very vanity, man? What they're really doing is vain, man. Right? Because the scriptures say what? Book of Job. This is 1. He set his bounds. Job chapter 14 and 5, it says, seeing his days are determined, the number of his months are with thee. Thou hast appointed his bounds that he cannot pass. So to get world domination and to rule forever, because that is the goal. All right. Psalms. We get Psalms. That's the goal. Psalms 49 and 11. It says, their inward thought is that their houses shall continue forever, and their dwelling places to all generations. So they believe that they're gonna exist forever, man. All right, which is not without prophecy, man. All right, the Edomite nation is going to be obliterated from off the face of the earth. It says their inward thought is that their houses shall continue forever, and their dwelling places to all generations. They call their lands after their own name. Verse 12, it says, nevertheless, man being in honor abideth not. All right, so who's in rulership? Esau, Edom, the so-called white man. And he is in honor. Moab honors him. Moab pretty much is copying Esau's playbook, man. They're doing the same thing Esau did, man. Thinking that they're going to have to rule next. Moab are the so-called Chinese. They're following after the same technology. All right, they're sharing the same databases, which would be biometrics. All right, the mark of the beast system, digital currency. Going back to Job 14 and 5, seeing his days are determined, the number of his months are with thee. Thou hast appointed his bounds that he cannot pass, man. So he's not going to pass. He's not going to fulfill his new world order. Right? Let's go into the book of Job, chapter 5 and 12. He disappointed the devices of the crafty, so that their hands cannot perform their enterprise. All right, their enterprise is that new world order, man. When you go onto the American dollar bill, it says Annual Coeptus. All right, Annual Coeptus and E Pluribus Unum, and then there's let me see if I can get it. In other words, it's broken down. Our enterprise is crowned with great success. All right, which their enterprise is ultimately the new world order. All right, Agenda 2020 or ID 2020, which is the mark of the beast. And in these last days, we're all here to warn our people, all right, to keep them from that way of life, man, from that device. Come on, man. Let's go into the book of Psalms. Psalms. Let's go here. This book of Psalms, chapter 64 and 1. Hear my voice, O power, in my prayer. Preserve my life from the fear of the enemy. Hide me from the secret counsel of the wicked, man. And what is the wicked? The wicked are the Edomites. All right, let's go to the book of Malachi. And let me start at the top. It says, the burden of the Lord power to Israel by Malachi. I have loved you, saith the Lord, yet ye say, wherein hast thou loved us? Was not Jacob Esau's brother, said the Lord? Yet I loved Jacob, and I hated Esau. So as Romans reiterates, Romans 9, I believe 9 and 13 reiterates, all right, Jacob, the Most High loved, and Esau, the Most High is hated. And that's the New Testament. So these so-called Christians can't go on and say, oh, God is all love, this and that. All right, because therefore you're adding toward Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, man. You know, you got to be accursed because you're teaching another doctrine. You're teaching another gospel. All right, and the word accursed goes back into Maranatha, which goes into a fearful looking at judgment, man. All right. This book of Malachi, chapter 1 and 3, it says, "And I hated Esau and laid his mountains and his heritage waste for the dragons of the wilderness. Whereas Edom saith, we are impoverished, but we will return and build the desolate places." It brings to mind the Renaissance period, which prior to the Renaissance, you Edomites were in a low state, man. You were eating out of your grandmother's skulls, living in the caves. All right, they called you cavemen, man. That's what you were doing. You had no language, you had no culture. All right, you were just Job goes into it, man. You were vile than the earth, he says. Right? Let's get that. Going into your history, man. The caveman history, which was a time period.